Right, guys, welcome back. This is IELTS Speaking, part 3, and we have a sample question here about waiting and instant gratification. So, without further ado, we're going to read the questions and try to give relevant answers in accordance to what we have today. Why do people today dislike waiting? I think people are interacting with social media and the modern technology, and everything is very fast, very quickly. People are not used to waiting for gratification or achieving something. Let's say you want to talk to your friend, you can just text them, you can just call them and talk to them right away. Whereby in the past it was a process. You have to be patient, you have to wait, you have to see this person, you have to probably meet them on the road or somewhere else, and then you have to plan for the meeting at exactly time where you have to go and wait for them. Probably you don't know if they are. So I think all these things kind of like trained. I'm not saying these things are necessarily good, but in one way or another, they trained people to be patient and to learn how to wait. So right now we have almost everything in our fingers, so much more easier to get used to the speed of life. You have work, we don't have enough time, we have a lot of things to do, even though we have time actually, because technology can do a lot of things that we used to do by ourselves in the past. But it seems the more technology we have, the more convenience we have, the busier we get, or probably the more distracted we get, and the time seems to be more important, while we probably use the same time doing a lot of unproductive things. Question number 2: has technology made people less patient? Yeah, as I said before, technology has made people less patient because of the opportunities that it has given. Your ability to write an email to a company and being replied in 1 or 2 days is a great power. In the old days, people had to write letters, probably tens of letters before they get a serious reply from the company, and probably to take months before they actually set a deal. But nowadays it's much more easier. So when people get used to this convenience, it becomes very difficult for them to be more patient and wait more, probably. And obviously patience is a psychological thing. So when people are patient, they kind of like get rewards of their passions in one way or another. But when people are used to having things as quick as much as possible, they grow impatient, and has the reward of being patient seems like it's not worth it because they could easily get something else elsewhere. Question number 3: is waiting always a negative experience? I don't think waiting is always a negative experience. The negativity of the experience is usually in your head. If you feel like you're wasting your time, then it's not worth it. But sometimes waiting could be the best measure of patience. Well, if it's not wasting your time, obviously. And sometimes waiting is associated to your ability to work on something for a very long time and waiting for the rewards much later. So waiting in patience could be associated to two things. Uh, Waiting means wasting time. Also, waiting means gaining much more time in the future. And patience sometimes depends on what you are passionate about. It could mean wasting your time or wasting your goals. Also, patience could mean growing internally as a person as you keep on grinding. And here I wanted to add a note. Like a lot of people, when they hear about patience, they just think it's all about waiting. Patience is waiting while you're actually doing something, or intentional waiting. Even if you're not doing anything, it's intentional waiting because you believe on results or something good is going to happen in the future. So those are our 3 questions. We're going to move on to another topic. So we're going to talk about these questions and try to give the best answers possible. The first question is: do people care enough about their privacy today? I think people do care about their privacy today more than before, but they just know what they could share and what they couldn't share, and the consequences. In the beginning, people would share everything, for example, on media, and unaware that what they share could actually exist on the internet forever, or other people who are irrelevant with probably bad intentions could access the information. People were much more scared, but also careless because they have no knowledge on how to protect their privacy. But right now, when somebody chooses to put everything on the internet, they choose it with knowledge. And the ones who don't want to put everything in public, they actually choose it with awareness as well. They don't just do it by accident. So I could say they care about their privacy, but also they know what kind of their private life they want to share. And depending on the values, because for one person, what seems private might not be private to another person. So other people would be ready to share everything, but some people would be cautious with what they are sharing. So it depends on what it is. But what I can say in general is people are much more aware of the difference between uh, oversharing, little sharing, and probably privacy and public matters. Why do many people share personal information online? Well, a lot of people share personal information online. I would say these people are divided into three groups. The first group is the one who are probably trying to create some sort of a profile which could help them in their business or in their jobs, in their career in general. Another kind of people who share are the ones who are not aware of their privacy, even though more and more people are becoming more conscious of their privacy online or the way data and algorithm works. But some people are not aware of these, and other people they share because they just don't care. This is the third group. They just share because they want to get the attention. It doesn't matter what it takes, but they are ready to get there with whatever it takes. There are some people who share all kinds of photos, all kinds of videos, all kinds of private information, and I don't think, personally, I don't think it's something that I would ever dream of doing. But these people usually don't really care very much about what other people see them or how other people think about them, which is, well, according to them, might be all right, but not something that I agree with. Is convenience more important than privacy nowadays? Yeah, to some people, yes. As I said before, like depends on the purpose of sharing your information or your presence online. Some people would favor convenience, other people would favor privacy. Some people will have less and less information online compared to others. So if you are one of those people who care more about privacy, I think you won't be able to share a lot of personal information if you're not an influencer or if it's not your business and you don't need to show yourself or share your personal information, then you wouldn't do that. But for some people, they think convenience is more important if they're getting some money out of these or fame of some sort, or they want to please their friends and neighbors, then they could just ignore their privacy and focus on what they're getting from the whole thing. And the last question is, how might privacy change in the future? I think privacy in the future would be much more important because after people face some consequences, little by little, people facing consequences of their online lifestyle, I think people become less and less um, public. I mean, a lot of people have public profiles, but they choose what to share publicly and they know the consequences. And in the future, the privacy policies might be a little bit um, probably government oriented in such a way that government might be able to access more and more people's information for different reasons, probably companies and a lot of people will be giving away the information. But I think the concerns among people will increase and a lot of people will try to learn how to be careful. Just like the way the internet came for the first time, people didn't know a lot about internet security and a lot of people were scammed, but the same scams don't work nowadays and a lot of people are much more aware of this kind of scams. So it's much more hard. It's getting more difficult as the people, learn more about internet safety and security. All right. So those were two topics, and this topic has a total of 7 questions. We have discussed all those questions. And these topics are rare questions, but unfortunately, a lot of people cannot answer these kind of questions because these questions are not used to, they have never practiced before. So having these topics here is a big push for you guys so that you have an idea and what to say or talk about when you face these kind of topics. So that's it for today. I'm wishing you best of luck and looking forward to seeing you in our next videos.